So Francesco, thank you very much for inviting me here to Digatron Systems in Verona, Italy, on
Sure.
the battery expedition.
Thank you for
And
having us here.
yeah, man, thank you. We just toured the factory and I learned a lot about battery assembly on pouch, prismatic, but also cylindrical cells. So let's start that discussion soon. But first off, I want to explore your personal path. How did
Yes.
you enter the field of battery?
Yeah, so I entered 10 years ago. I wanted to give a contribution with my work to the sustainable energy production.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started with materials for batteries and cell design. And then I moved to automation. And now I'm in Digatron.
Okay. All right. So what is Digatron's key innovation, if you would summarize it in an elevator pitch?
Yeah, so we work a lot with innovative materials. So we developed laser cutting technology for example, lithium metal on copper. So this is a key enabling technology to upscale lithium metal production, cell with lithium metal. Then we introduce a lot of control system in our machines to improve the quality of battery production.
Mm-hmm.
And on formation equipment, which is our key also technology. We developed an integrated system, integrated chamber with power electronics, safety, all integrated and very modular to be upscaled from laboratory to mass production.
Mm-hmm. So everything is, I mean, you're a daughter company, so to speak, from the Digatron Group,
Yes, we are
which is
division. Yeah.
specialized in power electronics, and this division is providing equipment on assembly, but also not just assembly equipment, but as you just elaborated, also trying to push the boundaries on certain technological innovations like lithium metal
Yes.
cutting, etc.
Yes, all comes from the process. So we are a company with a lot of process know-how, and everything starts from there and then goes into automation into a machine.
Yeah.
So when we develop a new machine, we start from the process, what is the need from the customer, and we can customize our equipment around this process. And this is what we do at Digatron Systems.
So what are your typical customers, if you would just name a few that people understand?
Yes.
Like, on what scale of magnitude you are in, what gigawatt range, so to speak, you're
Yes.
delivering machines to?
Yeah, so we work a lot with startups, for example, in Silicon Valley, in the US, and we work also a lot with research centers and as well with automotive customers. There we work on laboratory and pilot scale, and we have two main product lines. One product line is for cell assembly equipment, and there we have laboratory and pilot equipment. And for formation, we have laboratory, pilot, and mass formation. So there we also go to higher scale. Yes.
What does higher scale mean in this case?
Higher scale, hundreds of megawatt hour. This is our range. So we are talking about thousands of cells per day. Yes.
But not gigawatt hour range yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Yes.
Would it be something you aspire to reach, or would you say like, no, this is not our focal area?
So for now, we are focusing in this, let's say, middle pilot area. And the reason is also because we have a lot of customers that are asking for customization, and we are very good in providing this customization and process know-how, and there we can bring a lot of value to the customer with our solution.
Okay. So let's shine a little bit light on the product portfolio, not to do some advertisement here. That is not what the campaign is for, but to showcase the competence that you put to every discipline in the battery manufacturing landscape, right? So what I learned so far is that you not just provide to one cell format, but to all three of them, have custom, as you just mentioned, custom tailored solutions there. But maybe you can give us a brief outlook of how you're structured in terms of your product portfolio.
Yes, of course. So we have these two product lines, which is cell assembly and formation. And for cell assembly, we provide laboratory and pilot equipment for all the three formats. So pouch, prismatic, and cylindrical. It's also important that we have a very wide format range. So we start from very small cells. So if you are in the lab, you want to build automatically small cells, we have the equipment. But also we go
increase the reproducibility and
yes, exactly. But also we go to bigger cells. For example, pouch, we made projects up to 600 millimeter cells, so blade cells. And then we move to prismatic, where we do top tabs, side tabs, and there we showed before the laser technology, the welding technology that we use in many cases. And then, of course, cylindrical, which is also very active product development field, where, of course, we started with the tab design, and now we are in tabless design. Yes.
Okay. So many different innovation fronts you opened up there.
Yes.
Okay. So if we look at the European battery ecosystem, and we're sitting in the heart of Italy, and of course there with also in Europe, and we're also both discussing on like how this all evolves. And what I was inspired by, that you just said that you're shipping a lot of stuff also globally, so that your customers are also global. So I want to get your perspectives on this whole dynamics. How does Europe places in the world economics of battery technology? Can you explain a little bit on how you're maneuvering this game?
Yeah, so from our side, we specialize in custom equipment, and so customer finds a lot of value in us that we are very fast in bringing to life new ideas. So if a customer has a new cell design, a new material, and they wanted to make a prototype and a pilot in case the prototype is successful, this is what we are very good at, because we are fast, we are able to innovate. So if there are some uncertainties, we are able to overcome it. So we work, that's our playfield, our battlefield. So we do that. Of course, when you ask about the question about Europe, there we need to see, of course, at a different scale and products. It's a very good question. I think Europe needs to innovate to compete, and that's our ingredient. For example, we develop a new solution, and this is creating value to the customer. And so we need to do the same, of course, but at the same time we need to be efficient. And I think innovation and efficiency can go together, and this is very important to compete also with Asian suppliers and Asian manufacturers. So this is really important.
Can we compete?
I think so. We have in Europe all the competencies, the skills, and the technology. So I think this is really important. Thanks for asking this question, because we have all the ingredients to compete. We need to take responsibility for this and be able to overcome the challenges that will happen and happens, but it's important to try.
Yeah. So the question that I ask every guest of this format, the challenges is the first, the potential is the second, and the call to action is the third one. So if you should summarize in bullet points the challenges that you see on holding our competence back on building this ecosystem, what would you name?
Yes, today I think the challenges are mostly in the geopolitical framework, which is uncertain, and this is creating some, it's acting as a cooling factor for the industry. So many investments are held back, and this is the biggest challenge. Of course, this is also creating an opportunity, because in this situation you need to be lean, fast, and very efficient.
Yeah.
And so in this situation, the best will come out.
Yeah, it's kind of, you mentioned this word a couple of times in our conversation, all right? To be efficient, to just, and what you're saying is a hard realization, but it's a sorting phase right now, where only the best come through, I guess. And the best are those ones who deliver the quality to the customer that the customer needs.
Yes.
In the most economically competitive way, I guess. But also including things like service and accessibility to spare parts, and then to customer service in the end, the after sales part. This is also what I see on the expedition, that customers really value that. So what is the potential that you then see in order to get there?
Yeah, I think exactly, when I say efficiency, I mean that you need to combine innovation with efficiency. So innovation is not innovation per se, but it's innovation towards making the final product more competitive. Can be in performance, but at the end is in cost per kilowatt hour. So these two things are really important to take in mind. Every innovation is not per se.
And also I think time to market and delivery times is also a vital factor at the moment, since this is such a dynamic game that we're playing.
Yes.
To get there, if you would have one advice, one recommendation to all our stakeholders out there, your call to action, what would it be?
We need to collaborate as much as possible to share some of the risk in new projects and to be very close in the projects, because when you do a new project with some uncertainties, you have by design you have some some gaps. And of course this means that in order to be successful you need to share these gaps and share some risk. And this is important. So collaborative approach, risk sharing, and take responsibility. This is, I think, the key ingredient and can differentiate good projects successful from an unsuccessful project. Yeah.
Okay. What does it mean on an operative level to collaborate and share risk? Can you just explain it a little bit on your daily work?
I think if we're talking about bringing a new technology to market, you have a lot of challenges, and you're trying to bring something from let's say prototype level to some pilot production and then ultimately to mass production. And there of course you find some challenges by doing that, and this needs to be shared by all the stakeholders in the process, and this is what I mean. Because it helps a lot to move the project forward. And I saw it many times that when we have this collaborative approach, you can overcome many uncertainties that sometimes at the beginning of the project were not present.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. And I think this is achieved through close collaboration, just sharing information where possible, of course. And therewith, I think we can come further. And I mean, this is what I'm trying to do with this expedition. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to showcase what competence you have to deliver to our field.
Sure.
And where the touch points are to collaborate. So
thank you very much.
Francesco.
Thank you.